South-South News is a 24-hour access digital media platform dedicated to covering the advancements of global development through the sharing of best practices in the area of South-South and triangular cooperation. Our network was launched during the 16th session of the United Nations General Assembly High-Level Committee on South-South Cooperation and disseminates information about Africa, Asia and the Pacific, the Middle East, Eastern Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean.
As never before, Southern countries are supporting one another through investment, technology transfer, and peer-to-peer learning.
South-South News brings you daily coverage from the United Nations.
South-South and what it represents bridges the gap between developed and developing countries.
South-South News Media is the best one which can promote our issues.
Visits of heads of state, world news, the latest from business and technology experts.
There are 3 billion people out there in the developing world who are not connected.
We need accelerators and cross-cutting multipliers.
Exclusive interviews with heads of state, first ladies, ambassadors, and ministers. Conversations on education, health, women.
When women are empowered, the family is better off, the community, the country.
Environmental sustainability, culture, and entertainment and fashion for development. The annual South-South Awards recognize and honor achievements in global development from the United Nations, governments, civil society, and private sector during a spectacular gala event.
Prime Minister Dr. Winston Baldwin Spencer, Your Excellency Ambassador Francis Lorenzo, thank you for choosing me to honor this great award to me today.
Since 2010, South-South News journalists have traveled around the world, covering the most important high-level meetings from and for the Global South. And most recently, we have brought you special coverage on development from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where the meeting of the decade on sustainable development gathered heads of state, top UN officials, leaders from the public and private sector, and key players in global development. In Fiji, the high-level panel on the future of South-South cooperation organized by the G77. In Seoul, South Korea, a prominent event on global fashion for development. The Global Public Service Awards and Forum in Bahrain in the Middle East. In Geneva, the annual ministerial meeting of the United Nations Economic and Social Council. In the Dominican Republic, a high-level conference on disaster preparedness and response. The Global South-South Development Expo in Nairobi, Kenya, and the first regional Arab States South-South Development Expo in Doha, Qatar.
Progress must be inclusive. Poverty eradication must be our priority.
In partnership with the Graduate Center of Journalism of the City University of New York, South-South News, with the support of the UN International Telecommunication Union, the UN Office for South-South Cooperation, and the UN Human Settlements Program, UN Habitat, launched an initiative to train international journalists in New York City on reporting issues related to sustainable urbanization, the human impact of climate change, and South-South and triangular cooperation, and ICT. An initiative made possible by the Sun Kian IP Group. South-South News is the recipient of a United Nations Correspondence Award, recognizing its professional media coverage worldwide. This award-winning network, headquartered in New York City near the United Nations, is facilitating and leading meetings between the most prominent world leaders and principles of global development that are covered by local, national, and international news outlets in broadcast, print, and the Internet. This 24-hour access media platform uses information, communication, and technology as a tool for development for the countries of the South. South-South News, bridging the digital divide.